Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the full card of fights for UFC Fight Night, Sandhagen versus Figueiredo. So without further ado, let's get to our first fight of the night. So in our first fight of the night, we got in the women's flyweight division, we got Juliana Miller versus Ivana Petrovic. And how do I feel about this one right here? I'm going low confidence, Ivana Petrovic to beat Juliana Miller. I'm not particularly high on either fighter, but Petrovic is the longer, rangier, more technical striker, and she does have grappling side as well, where Juliana Miller is very much one-dimensional, coming off 2 bad losses and a pretty lengthy layoff. She is young, so she can make that could be a benefit to her. But again, I'm not gonna be trying to chase what could be with this one. It's like if you're gonna show up, you're gonna show up. If you're not gonna show up, you're not gonna show up. So Miller has not really shown anything since she got into UFC. She took a bit of a layoff. Petrovic's been active. She's gonna win. And she's the more well-rounded fighter, so I'm going to go with Petrovic here. Again, I'm not particularly impressed by either woman, but Petrovic does seem like the clearer side here. Like, again, she has grappling as well, not maybe to the level of Miller, but she'll be able to address Miller's grappling, and she does have a distinctive striking advantage. So I can see her sprawling, outstriking Miller, maybe winning top position and getting decision victory here. So in this one, I have Ivana Petrovic via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the heavyweight division, we got Don'Tale Mayes versus Thomas Peterson. And how do I feel about this one right here? I'll go with low confidence Thomas Peterson. If it wasn't for him coming off a knockout loss, I'd probably be average. But I think low confidence is fine. Well, they both coming off bad losses, but I'll say, well, not bad loss. Mayes' loss is particularly bad, but yeah. But that knockout loss does different things to you. But yeah, Thomas Peterson, Don'Tale Mayes, low confidence Thomas Peterson to beat Don'Tale Mayes. Don'Tale Mayes really throughout his career has never really shown an exceptional takedown defense. In the last fight, he got taken down real easy and submitted. But I'll say sloppy heavyweight decision. Thomas Peterson grappling Mayes. Mayes maybe having a little bit of success on the feet. Peterson been able to land success on the feet as well. Could be a stoppage. Definitely could be a stoppage. I'm leaning to like a sloppy heavyweight decision with Thomas Peterson looking to wrap him up, time him, take him down, but not really being able to materialize the finish. So in this one, I got Thomas Peterson via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the bantamweight division, we got Gaston Bolanos versus Quang Le. And in this one, I'm going low confidence Gaston Bolanos to beat Quang Le. Definitely if I'm probably looking just to not bet at all in this one right here, low confidence Bolanos. A battle between primarily 2 strikers. I think Gaston Bolanos is the more quicker, faster, dynamic, tactical striker against Quang Le. But I'm not too sold on Gaston Bolanos, but he did lose to a pretty good fighter in his debut. It's not like he lost to Scrub. Then his last fight, he beat a pretty decent fighter. Well, I guess okay. I'm not going to say decent. Okay fighter. Quang Le's coming off a stoppage loss. That's never good. Gaston Bolanos was able to rally from a stoppage loss. But again, he fought a pretty elite fighter in his last, loss that he did lose in the UFC, his first fight in the UFC. But yeah, I'm saying a whole lot to say a whole lot of nothing. Basically, I just feel like at this level, in this style right here, I would be more threatened to maybe sway against Bolanos if he was going in for a guy with more of a grappling advantage than a guy that's going to look to strike with him. And I think in a striker level battle at this level, I think he'll prevail here. Could see a stoppage, but I'll say a decision for Gaston Bolanos. I think Quang Le's pretty tough, and I don't think Gaston Bolanos at this level is that great of a finisher, in my opinion. So I say more of a decision for Bolanos. Just being the more dynamic, quicker, more technical striker here and being able to get his hand raised over Quang Le. So in this one, I have Gaston Bolanos via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the women's strawweight division, we got Marina Rodriguez versus Jillian Robertson. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going average confidence, Jillian Robertson to beat Marina Rodriguez. I just don't feel like Marina Rodriguez just doesn't seem like she has the hunger there, especially in her last 2 fights in particular. Like the hunger just doesn't seem there. She never had great takedown defense. She surprisingly has been hard to finish. So that's one feather in her cap. But the takedown defense was never really there. Robertson's takedown offense is getting better every single fight. She's been around a long time, but she's still not even 30 yet. So again, like came in young. She's getting better and better. She's getting her groove. I'm not saying she'll be no superstar or nothing like that. But she's only getting better. She's only getting hungry. Rodriguez, pushing 40 now. And only getting worse. This seemed like a good spot for Jillian Robertson to come in here, exploit the lack of takedown defense of Rodriguez, and probably just grind her out to a decision. Probably bust her up, be close to a couple submissions, but never able to get one. But who knows? It's probably on the table, like maybe submission or a decision prop. But yeah. But Rodriguez, like, she's been in with Dern, been in with a lot of decent grapplers. Like, she's been taken down in control, but seemingly never really finished. So, yeah. It's kind of hard to say she's going to get finished, even despite she's up there in age and just not hungry no more. But, it's something to consider, betting-wise. Something to consider, but prediction-wise, I would say Jillian Robertson decision is the much better grappler, and the takedown's going to be too easy for her. And the hunger just not in Rodriguez right now. Pushing 40. Robertson like 28, 29. It's a good spot for Robertson to just go out there and dominate in the grappling department. So, in this one, I got Jillian Robertson via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the middleweight division, we got Azamat Bekoev versus Ryan Loder. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going average confidence Azamat Bekoev to beat Ryan Loder. Yeah. Bekoev beating this Loder guy. Average confidence. Ryan Loder just really did not impress me, especially given the fact that the guy he beat to win the season just got taken down by and lost to a completely one-dimensional fighter. One-dimensional midget muscle-bound fighter couldn't do nothing with him. And Ryan Loder at the beginning of that fight, he almost got tapped out on like the opening round. Yes, he dominated like 90% of the fight, but he almost got finished by that guy. Robert Valentin. I think Bekoev is a better striker than Loder. Bekoev might be a better wrestler than Loder, but that's a big debate. But all in all, I just think Azamat Bekoev, given the same position, same opportunity, which he will be able to make for himself, could finish Loder on the ground. Now, I'm ultimately going to say second round TKO. My tongue getting lazy. I'm getting heavy tongue. What is heavy tongue? I don't know. It's not a condition I have, but for a second there, my tongue was heavy and stuck to my mouth for a second. But it is what it is. Yeah, but Bekoev is I think he can address the grappling. I think he can have success in the grappling, and I think he's the better overall fighter, more experienced, better striker. He's also younger. He's 29 versus 33 Loder. Yeah, I think he'll be able to address the grappling, whether he is able to prevail in it or not. And I think he'll be able to materialize a TKO, whether it be on the feet or on the ground. Either way, I kind of ultimately see it like on the ground, like via ground and pound in the second round. But yeah, I just think, again, Bekoev is younger, better overall fighter, better competition, better wins, better performances. And I think he'll be able to beat a guy like Ryan Loder and get him out of there in the second round. So in this one, I have Azamat Bekoev via second round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in the bantamweight division, with the women's bantamweight division, we got Yana Santos versus Miesha Tate. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going average confidence, Yana Santos to beat Miesha Tate. And I have no understanding why Miesha Tate is the favorite. Well, she's a former champion, and she's a star, and blah, blah, blah. They're the same age, kind of, and all that stuff. But yeah, she should not be the favorite. But that's probably going to change. She's only a small favorite, and we got plenty of days left. But hey, hopefully she stays the favorite, because it's only going to benefit me more that she stays the favorite. It's going to look good when Yana Santos wins. But yeah, Miesha. Miesha Tate's like 38. She hasn't fought in like 2-3 years. That's never a good look. When have these former champions this late in their career have ever really done well in these situations? Not really. Rarely has ever happened. And Yana Santos might be up to age, but this kind of reminds me like an Eric Anders versus Weidman situation where, yes, Eric Anders was never at the level Weidman was. Weidman should still do this, and yes, I was on the other side of that. But a lot of times these guys and gals that around similar age, been around a similar length, that never achieved the golden glory, they always are still hungry and improving. Whereas these fighters like Miesha Tate, all she's gonna do is just try and chase former glory, and that just ends up with you just looking flat out there. Like, do you really want to be here? Do you really believe you can be champion, or are you just here, just because you want the spotlight? And most times it's really just them trying to persuade themselves to believe they want this. Probably money, probably want to be in the spotlight, but the will and desire is just not there no more. They're not improving as a fighter. They're just trying to get back to who they used to be, and that's never a good look. And I think Yana Santos can address the grappling Miesha Tate. I think she's a much better striker than Miesha Tate. She's been active. She's coming off a pretty good performance, like where she looked good on striking, probably a little bit better than she ever did. The hunger is there. And I don't really trust Miesha Tate's hunger in that absence, in that age, and the fact that she already was a champion, already was a great fighter. It's just never a good spot to be in. And it's just a very low success rate position. Yeah, so yeah, I think Yana Santos could address the grappling and just be the better overall striker. Miesha Tate's tough. She'll make it a competitive fight, but ultimately Yana Santos would just be the better overall fighter and be able to address the grappling and be able to put the belt to butt on Miesha Tate, bust her up, maybe break her nose a little bit and beat her to a decision victory. So in this one, I have Yana Santos via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the lightweight division, we got Jeremy Stephens versus Mason Jones. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going average confidence Mason Jones to beat Jeremy Stephens. Yeah, I should have drunk water. I think that's what it is. I didn't drink no water. But yeah, average confidence Mason Jones to beat Jeremy Stephens. Jeremy Stephens' power is in striking is always dangerous. He could definitely knock anyone out. So Mason Jones got to respect that. But Mason Jones has shown a pretty strong chin, and I'm not expecting this to be there to be hit. Jeremy Stevenson is 38 years old, hasn't fought in MMA in like 5-6 years. Expect those MMA skills to be very rusty. He never had particularly great takedown defense. So yeah, 38 years old, hasn't fought in MMA in like 5 years. Got cut from the UFC essentially, and never had great takedown defense. And now he's 38 and hasn't been working skills. So I'm expecting that takedown defense to be even worse. Mason Jones is like, what, not even 38 or just smack dab 30. Got cut from the UFC, lost to two real good guys in the UFC. Both of those guys are still performing very well at a high level in the UFC. It's not like he lost to some scrubs or some nobodies. He lost some guys that are doing literally very well. One guy that's probably like, if he keeps winning, is probably like 2-3 fights away from a title shot. He's probably not going to get a title shot, but where he at positionally wise now, he's like 2-3 wins away from title shot. So that's very good, especially in the lightweight division. Yeah, Ladovie Klein. But yeah, Mason Jones, again, pretty good striker, pretty sturdy chin, young, hungry. Getting his second opportunity in UFC, not going to look to lose it to a 38-year-old Wash Stevens, who always pretty much was just a puncher's chance type fighter. It has the most losses in UFC history. This Jeremy Stevenson does. And Mason Jones does have grappling as well. So I could see him mixing in the grappling. And I'll say a second round TKO for Mason Jones here. So in this, yeah, I think he, can mix in the takedowns, mix in grappling. It's really just overwhelmed the old veteran who just has not been active in MMA. He's been active in bare knuckle boxing, but MMA is a different game. And at 38, also in bare knuckle boxing, he was fighting other washed veterans. He wasn't fighting like really young fighters. He's fighting like washed veterans. So yeah, going in with a young, hungry fighter who's looking to compete at the highest level versus a guy who couldn't compete at the highest level no more. Been away for 5 years. Now he's coming back and jumping into the seemingly the deep end. He's not coming here and fighting no scrub. So yeah, I think Mason Jones goes out there and just overwhelms the veteran, mixes up, and ultimately gets a second round TKO. So in this one, I have Mason Jones via second round TKO. The next fight we have in the bantamweight division, we got Cameron Smotherman versus Sirhay Sidey. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going low confidence Cameron Smotherman to beat Sirhay Sidey. And yeah, really my main concern here with Cameron Smotherman is the chin a bit. But Sirhay Sidey, even though he can TKO you, he's not really a one-punch big puncher. And that's what the issue in Smotherman's first Contender Series loss. He just went out there with a guy who did have a good punch, especially in the first round. And he got caught by that big punch in the first round. Sirhay Sidey is he could finish you, but he's more of a volume guy, so that's good for Smotherman. I think Smotherman is the much more technical striker. I think he's a better overall fighter. And I think he should be able to win here. I think he also should be able to get stoppage here. I don't think Sirhay Sidey's durability is all that good. He's been getting clipped up in some of these fights. Might not have been getting finished. In his last fight, he did not deserve to win at all. Did not deserve that win. Also, Smotherman, you could say, is his chin really that improved? He did fight a guy that was a former flyweight, so that helped his chin a bit. But we'll see. I think Smotherman's a good dog here. I think he's the more technical striker. And again, neither of these guys are particularly big punchers, like that one-punch finisher. But I'll say Smotherman via a decision here. I think he'll be able to control this fight, be the more technical fighter, be quicker, be sharper, be able to counter Sidey, and be able to beat him by decision here. Could see a stop for Smotherman as well, but more so lean in decision. Both of these guys are pretty technical. Both of these guys are pretty sharp, so it's not like one guy is so much more technical than others. It's a pretty evenly matched fight. I just think Smotherman is better. So in this one, I got Cameron Smotherman via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the bantamweight division, we got Montel Jackson versus Daniel Marcos. And how do I feel about this one right here? I'm going low confidence Montel Jackson to beat Daniel Marcos. I think Montel Jackson's a quicker, faster striker. Got to worry about the calf kicks a little bit. But I think he does have much more power than Daniel Marcos, much more experience. And I do think he's in his season right now. And it's hard to fade Montel Jackson, especially against a guy that's primarily a striker just like him. And I do think that Montel Jackson is the better wrestler. I think the fight, when you look at the fights that Montel Jackson has lost, it's been a fight against fighters who have had the better grappling than him. I definitely don't think Daniel Marcos is the better grappler than him. So Montel Jackson is undefeated against guys that aren't the better grappler. Every single loss, like we had like 3 losses in the UFC, all of them are 2 losses. It's been him getting wrestled up. And Marcos has not really shown a great offensive grappling approach. So given that narrative, I think Montel Jackson should be able to win this one. And I'm actually going to say first round knockout for Montel Jackson. I think this go the distance. I think he could win it in the distance. But given the groove and the mode that Montel Jackson is, he just been looking very impressive. And I don't think Marcos' chin has looked all that great. He got rocked in his last fight. He got rocked in the fight prior. And Montel Jackson has more heat, more explosion, more power than any of those guys he's been fighting. And again, he's locked in. They both were like 32, 33. So Montel Jackson is not in the mode where he's like, I got 5, 6, 7 more years to go. Like it's now or never. He's hungrier than ever, and he's been looking in killer mode and been showing it every single time out. So Montel Jackson will be a first round knockout. I think Marcos is a good skill fighter, but I think Montel Jackson will be able to find that lane, connect to Marcos' chin, and Marcos ain't never gonna been hit like that before, and his body's not gonna know how to respond. And Montel Jackson gets the first round TKO. So in this one, I got Montel Jackson via first round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in the welterweight division, we got Santiago Ponzinnibbio versus Daniel Rodriguez. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going low confidence Daniel Rodriguez to beat Santiago Ponzinnibbio. And yeah, this is a very, very closely competitive fight on paper. But I'll go Daniel Rodriguez low confidence here. I think his jab and durability will be good here. I think he's more durable than Ponzinnibbio. I think Ponzinnibbio has a pretty glass chin. He's been able to work around it, but his chin is pretty terrible. I think Daniel Rodriguez will be able to, but he got power, so it could end up looking like the other guy got a bad chin as well, Rodriguez. But I favor Rodriguez's chin. I favor his jab here. I think he'll be able to work behind it a lot. He actually has the higher work rate between the two. I kind of concerned about Ponzinnibbio's wrestling, but it's not like he's been able to wrestle and get great control time, so it's not going to be that big a concern. Or it's not like he's been able to take people down and ground and pound them and bust them up or materialize a submission. So really just points and control a little bit. And even then, he's not really getting that many takedowns. He's not getting that much control time. So I think Rodriguez will do a good job of being able to address that graph and maybe hold him to maybe 2 takedowns, maybe like 2 minutes of control time at most. I'm primarily saying like 1 takedown and maybe like 1 minute or 40 seconds of control time. So not too much there. So not too big a concern. And it's saying Rodriguez been able to control the fight behind his jab, been able to clip Ponzinnibbio at times, and also unlike Carlson Harris, like Ponzinnibbio's last fight, it's not like Rodriguez is sloppy. He's a pretty tactical striker, and if he hurts you once, he can continue to hurt you. It's not like he'll get sloppy, let his defense go out the window, or too much go out the window. And he has a much better chin than Carlson Harris. So yeah, I see this fight that competitor goes to this distance, but I think Rodriguez will be able to do the more damage, and I think he'll be able to be more consistent and more effective working behind the jab, working behind his boxing, tighter defense, more durable, higher work rate, and I think he'll be able to edge Ponzinnibbio, probably like a split decision type fight, but Rodriguez getting his hand raised yet again. So in this one, I have Daniel Rodriguez via decision. So now to our co-main event, we have in the middleweight division, we got Reinier de Ridder versus Bo Nickal. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going low confidence Bo Nickal to beat Reinier de Ridder. Seems like a pretty easy fight, but Reinier de Ridder is a weird fighter. But it seemed like, this should be like an average confidence Bo Nickal. But again, I'm not going to go overzealous here. He's got a young, unproven fighter in Bo Nickal. You got a former 2-division champion in one, even though those belts don't really mean nothing at all. We've just been honest. Those belts don't mean zero squat. But just being a little bit cautious, I'll go low confidence Bo Nickal instead of like an average. Yeah, Reinier de Ridder, awkward striking. Maybe he could catch him with something, but nothing very technical about his striking on the feet. But primarily with Reinier de Ridder, if he can take you down, he's a problem. If he can't take you down, he's nothing. And Bo Nickal is by far the best wrestler he's ever fought. And Bo Nickal's young in his prime, only going to get better. I think this is a fight where Bo Nickal could look good. I think he'll be able to stuff the takedowns pretty easily. And if he does somehow give up a takedown, I think he'll be able to pop back to his feet pretty well, pretty technical, and not allow Reinier de Ridder to capitalize. But I don't really see Reinier de Ridder take him down at all. I think Bo Nickal will be able to stuff his takedown pretty easily, press him on the feet, and knock him out in the first round. Reinier de Ridder is a mediocre fighter, and I think Bo Nickal is going to show that and put him out in the first round. Stuff the takedowns, press him, put him out first round via TKO. So in this one, I got Bo Nickal via first round TKO. Now on to our main event. We have in the bantamweight division, we got Corey Sandhagen versus Deiveson Figueiredo. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going low confidence Corey Sandhagen to beat Deiveson Figueiredo. Yeah, low confidence Corey to beat Deiveson Figueiredo. Yeah, low confidence him to beat him. Corey Sandhagen, my big concern with him is that he's like winless in title eliminators, but luckily for him, this is not a title eliminator. I don't see how this fight ends up being a title eliminator for either guy. I think if Figueiredo wins this fight, he needs one more win to get a title fight. Sandhagen wins this fight, he needs one more win to get a title fight. Because Petr Yan is there, Umar Nurmagomedov is there, and if anything, Petr Yan might get the next title shot, or Umar might get the next title shot, or Petr Yan might end up fighting Umar for the next title shot. So, yeah, this fight is not a title eliminator. So, when we look at Sandhagen, he's winless in title eliminators, even though the Vera fight should have been a title eliminator. But fights that ended up being the title eliminator, he's winless in those fights. He's winless in those fights. But fights outside of that, he's undefeated in fights that aren't title eliminator. Like he lost to Aljamain Sterling, went on to win the belt. He lost to Umar Nurmagomedov, went on to fight for the belt. Lost to Petr Yan, went on to fight for the belt. Lost to Dillashaw, went on to fight for the belt. So he's like 0-4 in title eliminators, but this is not a title eliminator. This is a 5-round fight. I think that benefits Corey Sandhagen. Corey Sandhagen has a higher output, more volume, more diverse striking. Figueiredo has more power, more speed. Again, pretty evenly matched fight, but I think 5 rounds benefits Sandhagen. He has the better gas tank. His takedown defense and grappling has been proven a lot. I think that will help him here. I think he'll be able to stuff the takedowns Figueiredo, maybe score some takedowns on Figueiredo, especially in the later exchanges of the fight. Do a good job of neutralizing the submissions from Figueiredo. You know, once he gets Figueiredo on his back, especially later on in the fight. Early on will be a concern because Figueiredo does have some good submissions earlier on, but later on in the fight, I think Sandhagen will be able to thwart them better. Wear down Figueiredo, put the volume there, and also defending the takedowns from Figueiredo, not allowing Figueiredo to get takedowns and, you know, get his breath back. But yeah, I think it will be length, volume, and youth over age and power. And I think Sandhagen will be able to use that length, size, youth, and all his advantages to outwork Figueiredo over the course of the fight in a very competitive fight. But I think Sandhagen will only get stronger as the fight goes on, and Figueiredo, you know, won't really be able to find too many spots where he can just rest in this one, especially as the fight goes longer. Probably still going to end up being a very competitive fight, but Sandhagen, again, ultimately just being able to outwork Figueiredo here, outgrind him, use that youth advantage. I think Sandhagen's still like not 35, still like, you know, right sitting in his prime. Figueiredo's, you know, almost in his 40s now. Former flyweight. I just think this is a spot that Sandhagen should win. But by no means am I super confident in Sandhagen. He has, again, in big fights, never been super trustworthy. So no need to get super trustworthy in him now, especially with the odds where they at. Maybe Sandhagen by decision prop, maybe play a little bit there, but Sandhagen money line, unless you got some deep pockets, I wouldn't advise that. And personally, myself, I'm not advising that for myself. But yeah, going Sandhagen here to win by decision. Just use his youth, size, length, volume, bigger build to be able to outgrind Figueiredo probably to a 3-2 or 4-1 type decision here, but competitive throughout. But Sandhagen again just doing more and being more consistent over the 25 minutes. So in this one, I got Corey Sandhagen via decision. And so that concludes my fight predictions for the full card of fights for UFC Fight Night, Sandhagen versus Figueiredo. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.